Have you ever felt like the world around you was falling apart? Like things were getting so bad, someone had to step in and reset everything? That's exactly what happened in one of the most well-known stories from the Bible, the story of Noah's Ark. But this isn't just about a giant boat and a bunch of animals. It's a story about faith, second chances, and doing what's right, even when no one else does. In the very beginning, God created a beautiful world. But over time, things changed. People began to forget about God. They lied, they cheated, they hurt each other. Violence was everywhere. People were cruel, selfish, and greedy. It broke God's heart to see the world He made filled with so much evil. So God made a painful decision. He would send a great flood to wash the earth clean and start over. But there was one man who stood out. Noah was different. He was honest. He cared about others. And most importantly, he listened to God. One day, God spoke to Noah and said something that must have sounded totally crazy. Build a boat, a huge one, because I'm going to flood the earth. But I want you and your family to be safe. I want you to start again. Now, keep in mind, Noah lived in the middle of dry land, no oceans nearby, no sign of rain. And this boat wasn't just any boat. It was a massive ark, longer than a football field. Still, Noah trusted God, and he got to work. Imagine the neighbors watching Noah every day, hammering away, building a giant ship in his backyard. They probably laughed. What flood? What rain? But Noah didn't argue. He didn't fight back. He just kept building, year after year. That's what faith looks like sometimes. Doing something that doesn't make sense to anyone else, because you trust in something greater. God also gave Noah very specific instructions. Bring 2 of every animal, male and female, onto the ark. Birds, lions, elephants, ants, everything. Soon enough, animals began arriving, not running wild, but calmly entering the ark to buy 2. People must have been stunned. Then it started. The sky grew dark, clouds rolled in, rain fell, harder than anyone had ever seen. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain didn't stop. Rivers overflowed, cities disappeared underwater, mountains were swallowed, everything was covered. But inside the ark, Noah, his family, and all the animals were safe. They floated, waiting, hoping. After months of drifting, the rain finally stopped. The waters began to go down. Noah sent out a dove to look for dry land. At first, the dove came back with nothing, but later, it returned with a tiny olive leaf, a sign that trees were growing again. Life was returning. Eventually, the ark came to rest on top of a mountain. Noah, his family, and all the animals stepped out onto dry ground, a fresh, clean earth. The first thing Noah did, he thanked God. He built an altar and offered a prayer of gratitude. And then, God made a promise. Never again will I flood the whole earth. As a sign of that promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky, a symbol of peace, hope, and new beginnings. So what's the point of this story? It's not just about an old boat or a bunch of animals. It's about trusting, even when it's hard. It's about doing the right thing, even when no one else is. It's about how every storm eventually passes, and how sometimes starting over isn't a punishment, it's a gift. Noah's story reminds us that no matter how messy things get, there's always hope for a better tomorrow. If we're willing to listen, believe, and take that first step, even if it feels like building a boat in the middle of nowhere.